If this turns out to be true, this will be a nice happy birthday gift to me. Tears. What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel and to another video. Today we are going to talk about all of the Demon Slayer news that came out over the past couple of days. I know I'm a little bit late at this, but it just came out during a really bad time because I was in the middle of working. So I finally have time now to sit down and kind of talk about it. And I just want to say that some of what I'm about to talk about is not official whatsoever. So take everything that I'm going to talk about in this first part of the video with a grain of salt, along with my opinions on everything. My opinion is based off of a lot of research, so I have a good idea of what I think it could mean. However, I don't work for Aniplex, I don't work for Ufotable. I am just a fan like everyone else who happens to like to turn on the camera and talk about it. I'm about to give you some opinions, I'm about to give you some news, but it is not official and it is just my opinion, okay? Alright, but before we get into it, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts on all the stuff that's happened over the past couple of days. So, for those of you who don't know, you probably already know because this video is going out kind of late. However, it has been released that the Demon Slayer movie, the first Infinity Castle movie, the release date is September 12th. This came out early Friday morning and social media very quickly took to it because of course Demon Slayer is very big, so that news spread very, very quickly. I want to go over a couple things as well as give my thoughts onto this situation. So the number one thing is that this is not technically a leak. What I would consider a leak would be if someone who says that they know someone in production and they say that there's going to be this kind of pacing or this battle and that battle's going to be in this movie. That's kind of a leak, is when someone says they have insider information. And that did also happen, but I will not be talking about that because, fun fact, that's illegal. And they are cracking down on leaking culture, so hopefully that kind of stuff won't happen much more. But what happened this time was actually a public website that is public information, and you do not have to pay a premium to get onto this website. I was able to access it just fine, and this website is also, from what I can tell, very legit. I did look into it because I'd never seen this website before, but it's been around for a very long time, and I read some Reddit threads that said that it has always been correct, so I am under the assumption that this website is legit. It might not be, but it very much looks like it. And this website is called The Numbers. It is the-numbers.com. And on this website, it has a list of all of the movies that they have in their system that will be coming out in 2025. But on this schedule, it has a unnamed Aniplex/Sony/Crunchyroll movie event on September 12th. And if you do the math, if you pay attention at all to much anime, you probably know that that means that it's Demon Slayer. That is because as far as all the movies that I know are coming out this year regarding anime, so that would be the Crunchyroll and Sony thing, only Demon Slayer is underneath the umbrella of Aniplex. Aniplex is their production company, so it's not Chainsaw Man. If you go up to February, it says the Attack on Titan movie special is just Sony and Crunchyroll because they are also not a part of Aniplex. So that's where everyone said, okay, this must be Demon Slayer. And if you've been watching many of my videos, I've actually talked about Infinity Castle quite often and have made a lot of predictions based out of my extensive research. I have already predicted that this movie would probably come out in September or October, so I'm inclined to say this timeline does absolutely check out with when I would assume this movie would come out. Another thing I wanted to bring up, because I've seen this a lot over the past day with all of the content creators making content about this September 12th date is actually specific to US and Canada. The website, The Numbers, if you go up to the top of the page, it actually explicitly states that these are for US and Canada releases. So all of those posts that you've seen that this is the Japanese release date, that is actually not true. In fact, the Japanese release date is one of the only release dates we don't currently know. Because on there it said that the US and Canada release is September 12th, and then I believe it said UK and France will release on the 17th, and then there were some on the 25th, and I think that included Germany. Speaking of Germany, my other point I wanted to make was that not long after all of this came out, the website for the Germany releases of everything, it said unnamed, and then they changed it to legitimately say Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle arc in the description. So I'm inclined to believe that this is most likely true. Everything kind of checks out here. This is more evidence-based than it is just I hope we can rely on this person that says they know someone or they're a reputable leaker that have been correct before. This isn't a leak. This is just public information that people have caught onto. So usually what I would say when it comes to leaks is take it with a grain of salt. I'm still saying that with this, which I'm going to talk about here in a moment, but this one feels a little bit more realistic to believe this to be true. Now, there are a couple things that could throw us off. Number one is it could be the world tour instead of the actual movie. I don't really think that is the case. If they were going to do a world tour before this movie, I think it would be coming out much earlier in the year. The world tour would make sense if the movie was coming out in like November or December. I don't think they're going to be doing that this year. I don't think there's a reason to do that before a movie comes out. I have talked about the possibility of that happening, but I think that that's just not going to happen this time around. But you never know, that could be something that could happen. Another thought I had was that maybe this is just a placeholder that Sony, Crunchyroll, and Aniplex had to give these theaters, whatever is, the box office, I guess, they had to give them a date of some kind, and this is just a placeholder, and that it is going to happen around that time, but September 12th is not actually going to be the specific date that it comes out. I don't know how that kind of background works, so I don't know how much truth there is to that statement. It was just something that came to mind, that it could just be a placeholder, and that we can expect the movie around this time, but not specifically on that date. However, I could be totally wrong here because I don't know the ins and outs of production and box office stuff, so take that with a grain of salt as well. But other than that, everything just really does point to September 12th being the day it comes out in the US. I don't know if it'll come out the same time in Japan. A lot of people have been wondering if that's the case because Sony and Crunchyroll already do have the rights to it. That is already done. So we can expect either it to be simultaneous and it comes out on the 12th in Japan as well, or I'm thinking maybe a week prior. It's very possible that they could be planning to do a big event in Japan for 1 week, and then there'll be a big event here in the States to release it into the States and Canada, and then there'll be a big release in the other countries, that sort of thing. And I'm talking like there's gonna be a red carpet, there's gonna be guests, that sort of thing. I could see them doing it like week after week after week so they can kind of have guests at each one and maybe rotate who goes, who travels, that sort of thing. But I don't know if it's gonna actually come out simultaneously because I do think they're going to really want to have those red carpet events, and if they have an event in the States at the same time as in Japan, that would mean that some of the guests, like, that would usually go to the Japan one because, all the production and voice actors that are original to it are all Japanese. That would mean that they wouldn't be able to go to the US one. Anyway, I'm just getting super deep here. But that's just my thoughts on it. Again, this is not a leak. This is actual public information, and you can just decide whether you believe it or not. So that's kind of that. Let me know what you think about this September 12th date. Personally, I would love that. It does feel far away, but September's going to come very, very quickly, and I think it's a great time of year for that to happen. Mostly because my birthday is like a week later, so that would be a fun happy birthday to me. But let me know what you think in the comments below. But before I let you all go, there is one other thing that I want to bring up that was officially announced. So we're moving away from the this is not official into the this is official, but then I'm going to give my unofficial thoughts, if that makes any sense. But it was officially announced by the Kimitsu official account that for the weekend of Anime Japan, which is I believe the 22nd and 23rd of March, which is literally like a week and a half before I get there, that there will be a Kimetsu no Yaiba booth. And for some reason, the way I found out about this was from someone quoting it saying, "Infinity Castle trailer." I cannot do this again. No, we are not going to get a trailer at Anime Japan. First of all, it says it's a booth and not even a stage. And second of all, I've said this time and time again, and it keeps getting proved to be correct. They do not release new announcements at non-Demon Slayer events. Whether that's Kimitsu TV, whether that's Kimitsu Festival, whether that's some random Kimitsu event that they did, where was that, in Mexico, when they released information on December 9th. They do not do it when it's a broad event that covers a lot of animes. This is the way Aniplex has done it since the beginning, and it's the way they keep on doing it. We do not need to keep doing this, y'all. I thought we were finally going to figure this out after Jump Festa, that no, we are not going to get it, but there are still people who think that it's going to happen. And not only that, this is not a stage, this is a booth. They're definitely not going to make announcements at a booth. So instead, what's probably going to happen is Kimitsu Festival, which is a 2-day fully Demon Slayer event, is probably going to happen around the same time as Anime Japan, either right before Anime Japan or right after Anime Japan, and that that is where we can expect possibly, this is not a guarantee from me, but possibly a new trailer. What they did last year was at Kimitsu Festival, they actually released the final trailer for Hashira Training, which had the specific date, May 12th, that it would be starting. And then I believe it was like the night after all of this, they had a Kimitsu TV where they released that information, because at Kimitsu Festival, they'll play it and only the audience that is there will be able to know that information until Kimitsu TV plays the trailer a day later. That's what they did last year, and I'm assuming that's what they will do this year. Now, I know I've talked about this on my channel. I will be in Japan for the month of April, so I'm definitely hoping Kimitsu Festival happens in April so that I can make it happen and go. But if I do get that information and then Kimitsu TV comes out, I will not be telling anyone until Kimitsu TV comes out, because I'm not going to do things illegally. But anyway, Anime Japan, no trailer will happen there, but we'll either get a trailer before that or right after that, is my best guess. But I think that's all I wanted to go over in this video. Very exciting times. We'll see how long it takes them to confirm. I wouldn't be surprised if the next trailer will say like fall or September, and we'll be like, okay, yeah, we all know it's on the 12th. But that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments how excited you are for this movie release. I know some people are disappointed. A lot of people were still expecting it in the spring or early summer. I never thought that that was very realistic, especially once they only announced a year at the end of December instead of a season. But I am heading right on track to what I was expecting, and I couldn't be happier if it's coming out in September, because I will have lots of fun around my birthday then. But if you like this video, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment your thoughts. You can also join my channel at Kamaboko or Hashira level, and you will get these videos early and members only, along with some other exclusive perks. And if you're a fan of my reactions, you can also join my Patreon at $3 a month, where you'll get all my reactions early and unedited. But with that, thank you so much for watching today's video, and as always, mata ne!